como Fidel Velázquez, Luis Gómez es hijo del PRI. Zánganos que el gobierno amamantara y siguen allí. Ojo con los granaderos cuando empiecen a tirar. Ahora pueden darse gusto, pero no les va a durar. Ojo con los granaderos cuando empiecen a tirar. No resuelven los problemas, pero vienen a matar.
Chapter 3 Death Flights. The Mexican population has been a victim of state violence at various stages of its history. However, since the second half of the 20th century, this situation has worsened. The repressive forces of the state have focused on terrorizing those marginalized sectors of the society that, for various reasons, have had to protest in order to obtain rights, justice, and a better quality of life. In 1970, when rural and urban guerrillas were most active in Mexico, repression focused on peasants, workers, and students. Police forces and the army used torture, murder, and kidnapping to annihilate dissident groups. In the state of Guerrero, where the guerrillas of Lucio Cabañas and Genaro Vázquez were operating, the army was responsible for terrorizing several towns in the highlands without any distinction. It attacked entire populations and applied counterinsurgency methods to wipe out anyone who was against the Mexican government. The army bombed entire mountains to clear the area, killed and imprisoned innocent peasants, and tortured men, women, and children. One of the methods of kidnapping used by some of the militaries was the so-called death flights. According to the information available, death flights began to be practiced in Mexico at the end of 1975 and the beginning of 1976. The objective was to annihilate the remnants of the guerrilla and new insurgent groups, especially peasant and student movements. These actions were directed by Francisco Quiroz Hermosillo and Mario Arturo Acosta Chaparro. Both were awarded for their counterinsurgency work in the state. The operation consisted of kidnapping the dissidents, torturing them until relevant information was extracted, and killing them. Later, a plane would take the bodies from the military base called Pie de la Cuesta to the Pacific Ocean. The bodies would be skinned in the aircraft, put in sacks with stones, and thrown into the sea. This information would be revealed by some military personnel who participated in the operation, the Special Prosecutor's Office for Social and Political Movements of the Past, FEMOSPP, which was in charge of carrying out an exhaustive investigation of state terrorism in Guerrero, and by the population who gave their testimony about this event. Although the practice of death flights is attributed to Central and South American military dictatorship, it was actually in Mexico where this counterinsurgency method was initiated. Although the exact number of victims in the state of Guerrero during the Dirty War is still unknown, historians, sociologists, and non-governmental organizations continue to carry out this enormous work to bring justice and preserve the memory of the repression. In the next chapter, we will talk about other important guerrilla movements that were formed in the second half of the 20th century. If you want to have an overview of the guerrilla movement in Mexico, click on the link that we will leave in the description, where we talk in more detail about this topic of vital importance to understand a forgotten fragment of the history of Mexico. If you are keen, like and subscribe, and share it with someone who's interested in this subject. Our project is created by students, and to maintain this work we need your help for editing, microphones, headphones, and translation of the scripts. If you want to support us, you can do so by making a donation through PayPal.